Welcome to Sociology Vibes, where we simplify challenging ideas into easy to understand insights. Today, our focus is on the sociological explanation of the 4 types of religious organizations in society. Sociologists categorize religious organizations based on their size, influence, and relationship with society. And this can differ from the ways that religious groups organize themselves or think of themselves. Each of the sociological classification types is based on their impact in shaping religious beliefs and practices within societies, and they can transition over time from one organization type to another over time. The trajectory of religions is to move from least societal acceptance to societal-wide acceptance. So let's get started on each of the 4 religious organizations as defined by sociologists. Cult is viewed as a new religious organization. It is small, and it can be seen as controversial or deviant by the rest of society. However, sociologists don't necessarily make judgments about a society's perceptions and point out that most religions were first cults before being accepted by greater numbers of people. Early Christianity was once considered a cult before it grew into a dominant world religion. Scientology is considered a new religion today. Usually, cults have a charismatic leader or a new spiritual belief with a loyal following. Cult is small and not widely accepted as status quo by mainstream society. Cult can face criticism or opposition from larger religious institutions. Sociologists do not use the word cult negatively. They see it as a neutral term for a type of a religious organization. A sect is the second type of religious organization that sociologists view as larger or more widely socially acceptable by society when compared to a cult. The beliefs of a sect have gained more social appeal. Sects tend to be on a smaller side, yet do have a sizable following, and they also tend to focus on more traditional practices. For example, members of a sect might believe that mainstream religions have lost their true teachings. Sects are more rigid and traditional than popular religions and conform as a response to changes in religious doctrines by popular religions. A cult can move into a sect organization as it becomes more socially acceptable and gains more members. Sect can either remain small or grow into a largest religious movement or a branch of various denominations. An established sect is what sociologists refer to as a religious organization that remains a sect over a long period of time. For example, the Amish are a sect that broke away from mainstream Christianity to live simple, technologically free lives. Jehovah's Witness is also a sect with a large following. A denomination, or sometimes referred to as a church, is a large, established religious organization. It is widely and even globally accepted in society and includes formal leadership or a hierarchical organization, structured worship rituals and doctrines or teachings, and a long history. For example, that the Catholic Church has millions of followers, a formal hierarchy such as pope, bishops, priests, and a significant influence over global affairs. Sociologists classify all of the world's main religions, for example, Buddhism, Christianity, Hinduism, Islam, and Judaism, as denominations, organizations. Within these types of major religions, there are large subgroups that have slightly different practices and doctrine interpretations. For example, within Christianity, Baptists, Methodists, and Episcopalians have slightly different teachings and worship styles. These are also widely socially accepted and influence mainstream culture. finally, the fourth type of religious organization is an ecclesia, also referred to as a state religion. An ecclesia is a denomination that is embedded in a society's political structure and officially recognized by the government within a society. It is a religion that is well established and ingrained in a society's mainstream culture. Most of society's members are members by default, and the religion is part of their national identity. Religious beliefs and laws are often the same, and there is little separation between religion and the government. For example, the Roman Catholic Church throughout much of Europe during the Middle Ages, or in contemporary society, Islam in Iran and Saudi Arabia are examples. In Iran, the government is officially Islamic and religious leaders have significant political power. Unlike other religious groups, ecclesia is not voluntary. People are often born into it and expected to follow its traditions. We can view these four types of religious organizations as a continuum that is based on their influence in society. Religious organization types can evolve. For example, a cult may grow and become a sect. A sect may gain followers and become a denomination. A sect can gain power and function like a denomination or church. And in some cases, denomination can become an ecclesia if it merges with the government. An understanding of these types of religious organizations can help us recognize that a society's perception about religious beliefs and involvement is highly impacted by the organization's size and influence in society. It makes sense that cults might be perceived negatively, while more established religious organizations as positive. And as religious organizations grow in size and influence, they become ingrained in a society's culture, values, and norms, and even social institutions like the government. And that makes sociology worth exploring further, don't you think? Thank you for watching. Be sure to comment below with your thoughts, questions, or any topics you'd like us to explore next. Let's keep the conversation going and our community growing. See you in the next Sociology Vibes video.